What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been playing, still, obviously, a decent amount of XDefiant, of course. If you guys are interested, I stream pretty much daily over on Twitch starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, hosting open lobbies on this game as well, so if you're still playing XDefiant, you want to squad on up, by all means, go ahead and do so. But seriously, just really looking back on this game and enjoying this game still, it just really exposes how scummy Activision truly is when it comes to their business model over Call of Duty, a game, keep in mind, that is already making a ton of money. I know everybody's still going to come at my neck and say, well, they're a business, so they're going to do what's best for their bottom line. But let's be real. They have already gotten to their bottom line. They have been made the money that they need to make off of the game. But they continue to push in different avenues again and again and again. I mean, for example, it all began with Black Cell and trying to implement, paid-to-win methods like, giving store bundles that give you instant UAVs when you hop into DMZ and stuff like that. They have been trying to branch out and add different models within the Call of Duty realm when it already has stuff like, a battle pass, so on and so forth, a store that's packed with skins that, are like $30. And keep in mind, this is in a game that is $70 to $100, right? I'm all for these teams making money, especially if it's a free-to-play model. But when it's paid, I kind of expect a different outcome because that's kind of the standard. Am I right or am I wrong? Seriously, what full paid game do you know of right now that does everything that Call of Duty does? They might have a battle pass and they might have a few scummy business practices, but typically they get, popped right out. Like Star Wars Battlefront 2. I mean, EA got so much backlash with that game that they had to completely go back to the drawing board. Battlefield 2042, although it wasn't with the cosmetics. Actually, no, let me correct myself. I was about to say Battlefield 2042 started off in such a disaster that, the community was pissed and they had to fix the game. But no, they also tried to branch out and make very quirky, insane skins. Do you guys remember that? I think you guys remember that. Remember the insane, what was it, a Santa skin or something like that? It wasn't too bad, but they were planning some other ones like clowns and stuff. And everybody said, what are you doing, DICE? Go back to the drawing board and, change it. And they did. I mean, all these full-priced games have to, stay in line compared to a free-to-play game where they splurge and they go over the top and they have, battle passes with side events and, overpriced stores and stuff like that. But it's free. But in paid games, Call of Duty is like the only game I can think of that just goes to town on their consumers. Even though they're making millions on top of millions on top of millions just off of the base game sales, they still have to go above and beyond and try to pinch every penny they can out of the consumer. And like I said, with the free-to-play games having a battle pass that extends over to, side events, Call of Duty's doing that now. We already discussed it, but they themselves are having events that are supposed to be free. For example, Modern Warfare 3 2023 had plenty of events, and all the content for that was free. If you didn't have to purchase anything on the side, when you played the event, you could play it because guess what? You purchased the game already. But in Black Ops 6, it's a different story. Not only do they have a battle pass and a side pass, through the battle pass with Black Cell, but now they're hosting events where they're also going to be having side events within the event, which I'm assuming that's where all the good content's going to be. That's what happens when they do these special events. The good content goes to the paid version and the bad content goes to the free version, which technically isn't free because you paid to already get into the game. If the game was a free-to-play game, it would make sense because they need to make money off of it, but they don't. They simply don't. And who knows what the next step is going to be here, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys have been following this channel for a while now, you guys know a common saying on this channel: just don't be shocked anymore with Activision. It used to be a time where I just said, it's no way, it can get worse. But every single year, they prove me wrong. And every single year, as you see, things do indeed get worse and worse and worse. And like I said, going into XDefiant, it just amazes me because this game was handled so differently. And although it did indeed lead it to its deathbed, in my opinion, it's honorable. A lot of people are going to say it's stupid, but I personally believe it's honorable. XDefiant is the first game I've ever played, including a free-to-play game, where they simply did not push the store on you whatsoever. They didn't even push any of the bundles, anything about the, microtransaction system was appealing to the consumer for this game. If you went to XDefiant, you went into that game because you simply wanted to play an FPS 6v6 shooter. That's simply it. That's all you wanted to do. There was nothing, screaming out at you saying, buy me, spend all your money in this game. And, you could just simply look back to the Reddit board or look back to previous YouTube videos. Everybody was saying the same thing, including myself. I made many statements saying that the prices of a lot of these skins just do not match whatsoever, The actual cosmetic content was not solid in the beginning of this game. It was very, very bad. And again, it was an issue, which we addressed because the game needs to make money. But the devs just made it so clear that that wasn't their priority. Every single time we opened our mouths saying, please, we want you to take our cash. We want you to take this, please. They kept saying, no, we are going to fix the game first, and then we are going to go ahead and actually put stuff that's, worth your cash. And again, that led to a much faster death to XDefiant. If the game had a price tag on it, I made a video about this already, but if the game had a price tag on it, it could have probably held throughout this, process. But it didn't have a price tag. It was strictly working off of microtransactions, and they knew they were taking a cut to prioritize making sure the game was good for the community. Again, I know I have to repeat this 50,000 times because in my comment section, for some reason, there's always people who say, well, I don't address, I don't know why people say this, even though I address it 50,000 times. I understand that is why the game died, that they prioritized this mindset. I understand it wasn't making money, but you can't tell me it was not the honorable thing to do. Now, stupid, you could say so, because obviously making sure they get cash to keep the game thriving would be maybe a bit smarter, but at the end of the day, let's be real here. If they prioritized upgrading the store and making sure the bundles were, nice and clean and everything was, sharp for the community to actually want to cough up cash, don't you think that would have given them a negative backlash? To have to go ahead and deal with people saying, well, the game plays like absolute garbage, but yet here we are, and we still have to go ahead and see these developers, forcing bundles down our throat. Be the same situation with Call of Duty, Activision, Black Ops 6, Black Cell, side events that you have to pay for. People are furious that the game is in a horrible state, yet they are prioritizing these side paths to cough up more cash. XDefiant would be it'll get so much worse backlash. I think they took the right route, and it's the respectable route. Even till this day, they had a system where they're going to give us daily login rewards in a free-to-play game that is already still trying to redeem itself. They're bringing in better cosmetics. We saw with Season 3. They all look phenomenal. Yet, they're giving us free XDefiant coins to purchase them still, while they're at a loss right now. You would think that they're trying to recoup as fast as possible. But even until its deathbed, it was going to make sure, or the developers, or whoever was going to make sure, that they stayed true to their word. And this game was made for the community first and foremost. And they were going to prioritize microtransactions at the end of everything. And I know there's going to be people who are going to say, well, Call of Duty, it's planned content, so obviously it's going to be dropping, and, they're going to be getting these things out here because it was already made and done, and they want to get it out into the game regardless. It was going to be a specific date that they're going to drop this, but don't you think XDefiant wanted to do the same thing as well? Don't you think they wanted to drop their game and, not deal with netcode and not deal with all these problems and dive right into producing content and getting these events out that they already had planned, things that they wanted to do since day one, but they couldn't because they had to prioritize other things? Don't you think they wanted to do that as well? I mean, Call of Duty should hold the same standards, but they don't hold the same standards. And you want to know why? Because they drop a new game every single year. They rely on the yearly hype over anything else. That's what they rock and roll with, over making an actual good product. And it sucks because I feel like the developers working on Call of Duty have lost that passion, that soul behind the game, that spark that they used to have back in the day when the game was just starting to come up and it was their baby. I don't think it's like that anymore. I truly don't. They see it as a massive IP already. They are maintaining the IP, and all they're doing is just making sure that a clean enough one can drop every year, and it's going to have its problems. It's going to have its issues, but as long as they can get the microtransactions out and, keep the sales going, it's a win-win for everybody, right? Wrong. In my opinion, it hurts the community more than ever, and people are really disappointed with how things are turning out. And I gotta be honest, although XDefiant is going away, I have to share my appreciation for such a fine detail of focusing on us, the community, and the game first, instead of making sure cosmetics were coming out first and foremost. Because a lot of my commentaries would have went a different way. Let's be honest here. If they were getting skins out in the store, good-looking skins, before making good changes to, balance issues with factions, weapons, all of the above, we will probably be in a really bad spot right now. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I do that Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.